Welcome to this week's episode. We're very excited to share the underground move that you need to know to incorporate into your repertoire right away. And it's brought to you by our very own Mr. Rick Holcomb. What's going on, Rick?
Hey guys, thanks for being here today. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this because it's one of my own things.
It's one of his own things, and it's been a part of the Copeland brand for quite a while. But I feel like it's kind of underground because I never see anyone doing it, um, as well as Rick does, which means not a lot of people seem to know about it. So I was like, Rick
Well,
is the guy to to do this. If you happen to have seen it before and man, once you see it, you'll be like, that's beautiful. Why am I not using that? Maybe you forgot about it, whatever. So we wanna bring this to your attention again because it's really a great move, a great versatile thing. So um, Rick was going to talk a little bit about kind of how it came to be and maybe some of the versatility of it, and then we'll have a special offer for you at the end to get it at a discounted price. So let's chat about it, Rick.
yeah.
What's up with this move?
So for our audience watching, what we're talking about is sly palm, and this is I would classify it as a grip, but it has much more utility than just hiding a coin, and that's where the project is all about, the versatility of this utility. So it's a grip, a way to hide and conceal a coin or multiple coins, or really anything the size of a coin, which I'll kind of show you. But I wanted to take the chance in this live stream that I was reminded of an important point, which was when I started thinking about when I first came up with this. Caleb asked me, "Where did this come from?" And I was remembering when I first kind of stumbled upon this. I was reading a book here, Coin Magic from Richard Kaufman, and the very first item in the book. I'm not going to show that, but the very first item uh, is a coin vanish by Richard Kaufman himself. So if you have that book, you can look this up. And it's a version of the retention of vision vanish, but he has this little touch on it where the ending position is different than just finger palm. And it was that move. This is like 2009, 2010, I somewhere
Oh,
back there. I was just fiddling and practicing with this move, and I just kind of I moved the coin like in a different way, and I gripped it differently, and it was a very comfortable position. And when I got in the mirror with it, I was like, "Whoa, this is kind of cool. You can't even see the coin." And at first, I didn't do much at all with it. It was kind of at first glance, it was like no big deal. It was kind of cool, but then after a while, I came up with a way to get right into it immediately. So you would do a retention of vision vanish, and then the coin would be in this position. And you could really not only show your left hand where the coin vanished, but like your right hand looked
can you
totally
demonstrate it
empty.
for us?
Yeah, so it looked uh like that, and then you'd wave
Jeez Louise.
and it'd be gone. Yeah.
That looks so good, man.
So that for a long time that I kind of only just did that, and it was just over the years, like I added a thing here and a thing there, and really when I first met Jeff, this was in 2017 at the Tricks convention, and I was showing him some stuff I made up, and this is the first time we met, so we're like jamming on ideas. And well, Jeff inspired me to like push it further, and he came up with stuff too. Like he helped me with he wanted to see like a toss vanish, something you might do like that, but get right into it. So he came up with this,
Ooh,
which is like using a toss,
jeez
but you're
Louise.
going right into slide palm. So even Jeff helped me push this further and further. So the point I wanted to make was one important thing about books and coin magic in particular, it can be hard to read, and you almost have to get to a certain level so that when you're reading coin magic, you can interpret it like in your mind, like be able to picture what things are supposed to look like. But I encourage people that I know everything's a download nowadays, but go get the old books, dig into the old books, and like force yourself to get through a trick, read it the old fashioned way. Because it's ideas like Sly Palm that just blossomed out of like nothing. It was, I was messing with a move I read, and like it turned into this huge thing. It took years and years, but I mean, that's how ideas are born. Sometimes you misinterpret something and you end up coming with a whole different method or a variation because you misread something, and like weird things happen.
That's
But
that's one of
also
the
in
things that
books are like, go ahead.
that's what I was gonna say, that's one of the things I've heard people say is a benefit to reading a book rather than watching a video. There's benefits to both, but one of the benefits for
Yeah,
learning from a book is that you can misinterpret something, or you have to develop your own way of doing it because you can't see it, and that helps you come up with
yeah,
new things like this.
yeah. So even with books you already own, force yourself to take it back off the shelf. Even you've already read that 3 times. Trust me, go through it again, and like there'll be something you forgot, or you just skipped over the other times, but now you've grown, and now you're ready to like try that thing out that you skipped. So
Let me say this real quick too. A while back, let's see, last week we had Scott Robinson on, and Scott Robinson is, the organizer of the Tricks Convention and also a Slight Club, has put together some like private lectures from really great magicians in the past couple of years, and one of them was John Carney. And John Carney came down and lectured for a few of the magic groups around here, and one of the things that he said was, just what you're saying there, Rick. Sorry, I almost called you Jeff. Just what you're saying there, um, which is like this idea of tinkering with something over time. Like, try it in different hand positions. Try the finger palm here. Try the classic palm. Try to move your fingers and adjust and look in the mirror and practice in front of a video camera over and over and over. And I'm talking just to the magicians here now. Like, we work so hard on developing sleight of hand over years that will never be seen by anybody. It's like we're the only art form that works really hard on our art for the purpose of it not being seen, because if it's seen, they know how it works, right? And so one of the joys that we get as magicians is to work on a move over time and tinker with it and try and try and try, and then one day it works in your own hands, and it's so exciting. I bet you felt the same way when you developed this move over time, Rick.
yeah, I mean, when well, Jeff approached me about like putting all these ideas together as a project, and I was like, "You really think that? You think so? Like this could be?" Well, when I sat down and like I started outlining like what I would, how I would teach it, I was surprised. Like, wow, there's a lot here, and it's a lot of variety of what you can do.
Mhm.
So the thing I tell people most about Sly Palm is it's kind of this nexus point of all the palms and all the grips in coin magic.
Mhm.
When you're in slide palm, you can get to any other palm with very minimal movement. So it's a nice like nexus point, an axis where like I'll even use it as a resting position
Mhm.
before going into another move,
Mhm.
because it's important in your coin magic to be able to go between palms and transfer the coin with little movement, little effort, and that really translates to an empty hand. So it's not about holding a palm for as long as you can, but it's about transitioning and moving constantly. So the spectator sees your palm from here, they see your palm from here,
Mm.
and so slide palm is a great like middle ground in whatever you're doing. You can transfer to the next place you need to go really easily.
For sure.
On top of that, there's ways to vanish a coin right into it. There's ways to produce a coin from it. There's click pass with it. You can steal a coin right into it. And yeah,
To me,
it's
I was gonna say, to me, probably the coolest thing is that you just stumbled upon this by playing with stuff. You know what I mean? Like you said from the beginning, you started
yeah,
with the book, and then you were working on stuff, and then you came across this thing that you didn't know years later would be such a repertoire builder that you can use for all
yeah,
sorts of things. And I was gonna show. I know we're not gonna teach slide palm on this live stream. We're gonna give a special offer at the end for how to get it. But there's something I can teach real quick that's a similar idea, not to slide palm, but a similar idea to practicing. And I was practicing you familiar with Rick Merrill's like Sharpie and coin routine? I was
yeah.
practicing a whole deal with that, and I came up with this. I haven't done it in a while, but it's a cool little idea. This little idea of, yeah, having the Sharpie make a sound before you remove the coin from inside. And it was just
Nice.
by accident of this idea of, if you clip the coin and you're gonna be holding the end of the Sharpie anyways, if you just rock it back and forth, you get this little added sound effect. And maybe somebody's come up with that before, I don't know. If anybody knows, comment about that. But I wanted to use that example just to show you, like, when you're playing around with effects and you move things into different hands and you try different things, all of a sudden you find other advantages, which I think is perfectly demonstrated by what Rick has come up with here with Slide Palm. It's an incredible tool for all sorts of things. So, talk to us about the other object type things you can do, that some of the versatility you can use with this besides just a coin.
Yeah, I mean, well, on the download, I teach this routine here. It kind of looks like this. I'd honestly have to refresh myself to how I actually did it. But you can take a dollar bill and you tell people how, we used to use silver dollars, uh, but now we use paper dollars, and they're not as beautiful in my opinion. But you know, come up with some
Man.
patter about.
Yeah. Wow.
And I teach a couple other changes there, but that's the idea, is like a spellbound with paper dollar to silver dollar. And I also teach a version on there of hanging coins by David Roth, but with slide palm. So like you can really have these moments of like emptiness in your hands, and
Yeah.
that's the thing about talking about John Carney and tinkering. For those of you out there that you want to be a creator, a magic creator, and that's the whole thing, is don't stop playing. Like just play with the idea. Uh, keep changing things about the idea. See if you can use this idea in another area of magic. Like, would this idea apply to cards, or could I do this with a marker, or like whatever it is? that's how these, guys like Nicholas Lawrence and Luke Osee, like these guys that are coming up with stuff every month, they keep playing with ideas and methods, and so that's what it's all about. Like the birth of all this, I kept playing with this thing. I only had one application for it, but I kept playing with it, and it grew and grew. So
It's amazing. Yeah, no,
that's
it's
yeah,
that's great, and I think some of the when we think about it, it feels like, man, some of these guys, I could never be a professional and a creator and create these amazing effects that we've all been using for years. But all those things in the Tarbell books and stuff started with somebody just trying stuff, right? One of the my favorite concepts just in life is somebody says, like, look at the floor, look at the ceiling, look at whatever you're talking on your device right now. This all used to exist in somebody's imagination only. And then it was created, like it was invented. And so uh,
yeah,
Rick was just playing around with these things that he'd read, and it became this whole thing. And then he developed it. But over time, it becomes this amazing, amazing thing. So we have a couple little questions here, Rick, for you. Um, or comments. Mago Fran, good to see you. He says it looks completely amazing. Unfortunately, I can't make it look like that. But I think he can. What encouraging words would you have to say to him, Rick? Because I think this is a move people can get down.
I mean, the main thing I'd say is, uh, it doesn't take much effort, much, tension for the grip. Just like your classic palm, you don't want to be holding a coin so tightly that your
Mm,
hand looks like this. You want enough pressure on there so that that coin could just fall out.
mm,
So same thing with slide palm. You don't want you just need enough pressure to make that coin go into place.
mm.
And yeah, you can do, I mentioned using multiple coins. You can try you could do this with 3 coins. It looks the same. Wait.
I did not
Oh, yeah,
expect
there
this
we
all three to finish.
Another another point is, uh, if you don't want to use dollars, this looks even better with half dollars.
Oh boy,
Because, well, in my hands, uh,
jeez, always.
like, most of the time I perform close up,
That's
so
great.
I use half dollars a lot because I perform like a lot one on one or a couple people,
Hmm.
and things get really limited with dollar coins.
Hmm.
And you don't want to have to step way back. I mean, you can use dollars very close up, but
Hmm.
so try half dollars. I wouldn't go smaller than a half dollar for most anything, but
Hmm.
like a quarter might be, it might take too much effort to hold on to, and therefore your hand might look funny. But
Well, we do.
experiment.
I can't talk about it exactly yet, but Rick and I both know we do have something very interesting coming up with a quarter specifically, not for a palming
Oh,
technique, but that's gonna be dope. That thing is gonna be great. But I do want to show real quick. We have if I can get the website here. Basically, if you go to copelandcoins.com, you can get half dollars, dollars, whatever you need coin wise, and we have the tiger tans, and they have a really nice, ads for. It'll help with different grips and things, and with slide palm as well. So definitely, Copeland Coins has exactly what you need here. I want to add on another comment here. Matthew says Rick very briefly touched on slide palm in the Coinbox download, so I assumed I might not need the full project, but I see I was wrong. So yes, there is a lot
yeah.
on the project that you're going to want to check out,
So
man.
he's talking about, I did a little Coinbox download like in 2020 before I was like on with Jeff, and I do use it in a routine there, but it's so much more. And yeah, like I said, you can do. Well, I showed vanishes, and you could do one coin or 3 coins all together. Or what's really cool because you have this sound,
Mm.
you can have 3 coins, but do them one at a time.
Hmm. Jeez, it looks good.
And then the sound is masked because like there should be sound in there.
Right.
And then if you're really careful, you can be silent with it even while you're holding the other coins.
So pretty, man.
So then you can produce coins. Uh, it's not the best angle. Kind of low.
It's so good. Now, let me ask you a quick question here. On a scale, I mean, you've performed a lot of coin magic in your time. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most difficult, what would you say this move ranks on for people? Not all the applications, just like the move itself, you know. You're gonna have to work a little bit to get all the different applications, obviously, all the different transfers and everything, but
Well, I don't want to call it a move, it's a grip.
grip, I'm sorry. Yes.
So you be able to immediately do at least 2 or 3 things, 2 or 3 applications,
Right
like
away.
within, yeah. And I mean, none of it's very difficult. It's just a new grip. So it's a matter of, if you consider some of it harder, it's just a matter of getting used to it. But like within an hour of watching it, you could definitely do a couple, 2 or 3 things on there.
That's exciting.
Vanishes, productions.
That's awesome. Yeah, and Fred here, he says he's slide palm's a brilliant slide. I've used it ever since Rick put it out. So that's amazing. And one more thing I wanted to mention is if you remember in Rick's most recent project with his recoil, he also had a variation of recoil that could use slide palm if you were already familiar with slide palm, just as an extra little thing thrown in there. So once you get this slide palm thing, I'm telling you, it's going to be useful in so many different ways. You know,
And the
that's
cool thing is, uh, not that we should be doing magic for magicians, but since it's not like, I mean, only the very best, are aware of slide palm. But if they're not, this will totally throw people off because they're like,
yep.
well, where is it? Because it's kind of a new place
Hmm.
to conceal a coin.
Hmm.
So you'll be able to fool those in the know, which like it's fun for itself, but that shouldn't be a goal. But it is cool.
100%, 100%. And the last thing I think we might have missed that I just wanted to point out, we've talked about this uh, on the live stream, this idea of trying to use the same moves and the same grips and the same tricks with different props. And I think that's part of what's the genius of this project is that you show all sorts of different ways to utilize the same foundation uh, with different props and things. And I think that's a really good thing to share, just to show that you wanna challenge yourself as a magician, trying the same thing. Just like Rick said earlier, can I do this with cards? Can I do this with another prop? Or is there something else that makes a little more sense here? And I just want to show kind of what it looks like here on the web page. So when you go to the web page, um, this is slide palm here. You'll see there's so many different, it's beautifully done, just like all of the stuff Jeff has made sure everything is just beautiful here. Um, we might be able to play this here. He's already shown you such great applications here, but just to see a little bit more of the. of the different things you can do. Yeah, it's just so pretty. Some of the vanishes and appearances and everything. It's just such good work.
Yeah, that was one of the steals you can do.
Yeah. Matthew says, "I love the Sly Fox animation." Yeah.
Now, if you watch that video, you gotta give me some grace because that was the first time I was on video, so I'm like pretty stiff, and
You're
like
good.
I was like,
But it has so many
well,
applications,
when
and
I rewatch it, I'm like, ah,
there's just a classic Spellbound right there. I just wanted to share that a little bit just so that we could see there's just so many different things you can do, of course, and I think another really great thing about this, and we'll wrap up here, is how part of coin magic, just like Rick said at the beginning, is having that openness and being able to show multiple different sides of your hands in different areas. Um, but it also has a softness to it, which I think is very important in coin magic. And this allows you, if you've struggled with the softness of coin magic, this grip allows you to start with a good foundation of like, here's how it should look. Here's how you can keep an open, empty hand and still be, way ahead of your audience.
yeah.
So it's good stuff. Well, the last thing we want to mention real quick is that this week only, we are having a very special offer for Sly Palm. So as you saw on the page there, it is normally $24.95, which includes the download with all of the routines and things on there. How many routines are on there? Let me see. You know off the top of your head?
There's a there's a short routine like the spellbound with a dollar bill, but the longer, more involved routine is the hanging coins with slide palm. But I also show on there like a 4 coin change, which is, I mean, you could make a routine out of that, but and like Caleb mentioned before, to do that, we have all the coins you need. Like you might have a Chinese coin, but why not get the Tiger Tan coin and the Kingdom coin, and you could do a quadruple change with a silver dollar.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Especially that Kingdom coin with the reflection of the light, and like all of a sudden it's like all the lights
yeah,
reflecting. Yeah, that's a good
so
idea.
we not only have the downloads you need, but the tools to do stuff from those downloads.
Of course. Yeah, there's so much involved in this, and it's a over 40-minute runtime video. You got the Vanishes Productions, barehanded displays, all the ins and outs, getting into it. That's some of the most important parts, getting into it, getting out of it. And then you, like you said, you got the routine, the high and dry, which is that vanish and reappearance of 3 coins, and then you got the dollar to dollar, which is that paper bill uh, spellbound transposition that Rick showed you earlier on the stream. And so the special offer is that this week only, it is 25% off. And so that brings it to just over $18 for the whole package, which is a really good deal.
Man.
Yeah, so while you're at it, it makes perfect sense to go ahead and pick up the coins that you're gonna wanna use with it, and get it all at once. So, right after this stream is when the discount is gonna go live, so you're gonna wanna jump on that. I have the website here. If you go to, copelandcoins.com/palm, I will also go ahead and put that in the chat real quick, just so everybody has that link, make that really easy for everybody. And we want to thank you all for joining us. This was nice, fun little chat about a underutilized move that everybody could benefit from. So thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Go make beautiful magic.